Hi everyone, welcome back to Stamp with Anna, and today I'm going to show you a treat bag that we made at our Halloween card class last week. And this is one of the most simple bags that you will find out there. There are a lot of very intricate ones with lots of cutting and lots of scoring. This one truly is a simple one. And it's just a one-layer bag, and I put some baked cookies in there. Yes, I did bake those myself for my lady customers that were at my card class. This bag is economical as well as easy. One sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper will give you 2 bags. So the paper is cut at 4 1/4, and you need one for each one of the bags. So now I have this piece of paper, this piece of basic black cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11, and I am going to cut it. Where are my notes? I'm going to cut it at 9 1/4. So I have my trimmer here, and I just saw that our new trimmer is going to be available for demos to purchase come October 1st, and I'm excited about that. I want to get my hands on it and see what it's all about. So I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to save this piece because I do need that. So here is my piece of basic black cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 9 1/4. Now I'm going to do my scoring, and I'm going to open this up. I'm going to score at 1, 4 1/4, 5 1/4, and 8.5. And yes, I know that this one here is smaller than this one, and it's that way for a reason. Then I'm going to turn this the long way, and I'm going to score this at 1. So all of our cutting and scoring with the paper trimmer is done. So now here is my piece of basic black. And again, it's 4 1/4 by 9 1/4. And it is scored on the horizontal at 1, 4 1/4, 5 1/4, 8.5, and then on the vertical, it's scored at 1. Now I'm going to bring in my paper snips, and I'm going to cut up on all of these lines. This here is going to be the bottom of the bag. I'm going to cut up all the way to that top line. I'm going to take this small little tab, and I'm going to cut it off completely. Okay, then these two 1-inch square tabs, I want to just give these a little trim on the side and angle them, and that's the only reason is because I want it to be nice and neat on the inside of the bag. So I'm just going to give them a little snip. Okay, so now my bag looks like this. And now I have the base of my bag, and it looks like this. Now I have to make my decorations here on the 2 side panels. And for that, I have 2 pieces of pumpkin pie cut at 3 by 3, they're squares, and 2 pieces of designer series paper from the Monster Bash collection. And these are 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And now I'm just going to attach these. I'm going to mount these designer series pieces to my pumpkin pie. And I did make the border on this one just a tiny bit thicker than the one on my sample card. And now I'm going to attach these to these 2 large panels here. And it's important that you do this now before you put the bag together, because it just makes it easier. And with this bottom piece here is on this is the bottom of the bag. So you want, if you have design a series paper that clearly has a top and a bottom that's directional, you want to make sure that you have it going in the right direction. So I'm going to put one in that panel and one in the other panel. And there we go. Now all we have to do is put our bag together. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this small flap here and fold it in. And then I'm going to bring this piece over here, and it should line up perfectly. See how I did that? I brought in the 3/4 inch flap, then I just closed this over on it, and it lines up perfectly. So I'm going to put some adhesive on that. This bag isn't going to hold anything that's too heavy, so you could use snail or you could use tear tape. I'm going to use my fast fuse simply because I have a bunch of it. And again, I'm going to keep that flap down and just close this over, and it's nice and squared up. Okay, so now I have the beginnings of a bag. Super simple, right? Now I'm going to do these two little flaps. And what I want to do with those, again, is just put a little bit of fast fuse on either tab. And I'm going to fold them in. And I'm going to take one panel and bring it over, square it up. Okay, with my finger, I'm just going to go in there and push. And now that piece is attached to the tabs. Now I'm going to put some fast fuse or adhesive on the bottom part. And for this, the most important place to have the adhesive, I should use my silicone mat, is along this very edge here. And I'm just going to bring that in and fold that over. And look at that. Just about done. Now I'm going to take a piece of pumpkin pie. And this is the width of the paper. It's 11 inches wide. And I just cut 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do with that is just cut it in half so that each one of my straps is going to be 5.5 inches. Again, I started out with the full length of an 8.5 by 11 on the 11.5 side, and I cut it at 1/4 inch, or maybe 1/2 inch, excuse me. Yep, 1/2 inch. So this is 1/2 inch by 5.5. Now I'm going to bring in my bone folder, and it's in this mess somewhere. Here it is. And I want to just break down the fibers in the center part of this piece here. So see how it's curling there? Don't be too rough with it because it will break. So I just wanted to give it a little curve. And I'm going to attach these right here. So for that, I'm going to come in and put on 2 glue dots on each end. And I'm going to put one right about here. And when I bring this over, I do want to bend that because that's what a bag looks like, right? And I'm going to put another one right there, right? Now I'm going to take my other one and do the exact same thing. 2 glue dots on each end. And now I'm going to put that on this side here. And I want to kind of roughly just line it up so that it meets with the one on the other side. Now I want to, I just need to bend that in the opposite direction. So now I'm going to give this a little bend, and I'm going to attach that here. Now the only thing I want to point out about these handles is when you make a bend in them. So you see here, this is at an angle, and I have the taller side on the outside and the shorter side on the inside. To me, it didn't really matter if the taller side was on the outside or the inside. Didn't matter at all to me. If that makes a difference to you, then just turn them the opposite direction. But you do want them to both go in the same direction. So there we have it. How simple was that bag? So now we're going to just decorate it. So I'm using this stamp set called Spooktacular Bash, and this is in the holiday catalog, and I'm going to use this right here that says open if you dare, and it has, the stamp set has coordinating framelits, and so they are available as a bundle. And so I'm going to take, you can see all these great, this is called ornate frames, and you can see there's 11 frames. They're so cute. Some of them really are very ornate, and some of them are not. So I'm going to take this large one here, excuse me, the small one here is going to cut this out, and then the larger one is just going to give me a mat. So I have a little piece of crumb cake here, and with my Memento Black, I'm going to ink that up nicely, and I'm going to just stamp that right in the center of my scrap. And like I said, what I'm going to do now is with this smaller frame, I'm going to cut that out, and then that little piece of black that we had, I'm going to cut the larger one out. I'm going to go do that on my big shot. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with all of my pieces. Now I'm going to just attach them. A little bit of snail. Attach this crumb cake to the black, and you can see these little fancy cut corners. They do line up nicely. So now I'm going to make a tag out of it. Now, what I did was I brought in my 1/8 inch hole punch. Now, if I brought my hole right up here, I thought I would be too close to the edge and it would split. So there's a little skull head there. What I did was I just poked right through his skull head, and the skull was not part of my design. So that's the way I chose to go. Okay, and there it is. Now I have a little piece of baker's twine. This baker's twine I think was actually in last year's catalog, but I had it, so I'm using it because it coordinated nicely. And I made myself a strip, folded it in half, and then went in the front. Excuse me, my arthritis is killing me. I can't get this open. And these two through the inside, and there's my tag. And now I'm just going to tie that onto one of my handles. And you can do this however you want. You can put a bow on it. You can keep a knot. You can do it however you'd like. I just decided to go with a knot. And then I'm going to just trim this excess here. And pop in my cookies. This was an apple caramel, and that was a pumpkin. I thought it was appropriate. And there is my super easy treat bag. Like I said, we made this a class on Saturday, and I think I'm going to make a couple and give them to the other administrative assistants in my department for Halloween. And I might make some for the kids in the neighborhood. I don't get too many trick-or-treaters, but I think these would be great to fill with a little pouch of different candies for them. It'll be a nice little way to give them their candies. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products that I've used, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with whom you work and you would like to receive a copy of the holiday catalog, certainly let me know and I'll be glad to get one out to you. Thanks so much and have a great day.